Hi everybody, I'm Pete Van Dyke here with California Aeronautical University in Bakersfield, California. We want to show you around some of our state-of-the-art training aircraft we recently have received here and give you the inside track on what we're going to be doing with these airplanes and how we're going to make them available to folks that are interested here in the state of California and beyond to launch their careers in aviation with us. So let's get rolling here. Behind me you see brand new Cessna 172 Skyhawk trainer. The airplane is powered by a 150 horsepower engine, and we have a single prop in the front, and this is one of the most popular training airframes in the world. Several thousand of these are used here in the United States, Canada, South America, Europe, and all across the world to train pilots for the airlines and the militaries and several other flying organizations around the world. So it's a very reliable airframe. We have brand new ones here at California Aeronautical University. What I'd like to do today is take you a little bit on an exterior tour, show you some features of the aircraft, and then we'll go in the cockpit and show you what state-of-the-art work will be done in that cockpit using electronics and navigational instrumentation that keeps us well aware of where we are all the time. One of the features of our aircraft is its high wing design. That allows the student pilot to have good view of the runway and the ground beneath as they do their training maneuvers out in our practice areas. Part of the function of the wing up high like this is where the fuel tank is located. So we have gravity helping us feed fuel down to our engine, and that way we have a reliable fuel source throughout our maneuvering. This is called a wing strut, helps support the wing, maintain its stiffness, and is a very weight-efficient way of reinforcing the wing. And down below you see our main landing gear. That is in what's called a fixed gear configuration. We don't fold that up or put it down on every time we want to make a landing. It stays down and fixed. For the airspeeds that we use our airplanes for training, that doesn't make a big difference in our performance and gives us a very reliable configuration for training new pilots. We're at the trailing edge of our wing here of our Cessna 172 training aircraft because I want to show you how the aircraft maneuvers through the sky, banking left and right. It's part of the wing that has to change, called an aileron. You can see as this aileron goes up, the aileron on the other side of the wing goes down. That's called differential movement, different from side to side. As this aileron goes up, it acts like a spoiler. It kills lift on this side of the airplane, where that aileron going down acts to increase the lift. As a result, the aircraft banks and then begins to turn. So ailerons are the main means of banking an aircraft to change its heading in flight. There's another panel on the wing which moves called the flaps. And I'll demonstrate their movement in just a little bit, but they're here to help the airplane fly under control at lower speeds. When the flaps go down, they increase the lift of the wing at any given airspeed. And likewise, when you slow the airplane, that increased lift keeps you under control in your descents. So that's flaps. Now we're at the back end of the airplane where there's a lot of movable control panels because it affects chiefly the pitch, the nose up and down of the airplane. This is the elevator here, and when it's in this neutral position, the pitch is neutral, parallel with the horizon. When this elevator goes down, the nose actually pitches down. When this elevator comes back to neutral, nose is neutral. When the elevator goes up, the pitch goes up. So that's how this elevator works. Pitch up, pitch down, nose down. And all of that's controlled with a control yoke in the cockpit. The last thing I want to show you is the rudder. This is something that controls how the aircraft moves through the air without generating drag. So the rudder goes left, it makes the nose track to the left. When the rudder goes right, the nose tracks to the right. And when you combine this with the bank given by the ailerons, you can make smooth turns. So rudder and aileron work together for turns, and the elevator works both sides for pitching up and down. Now I'm going to take you to the cockpit where the pilot has the controls that move all these different surfaces to fly the airplane safely and smoothly. I know it seems to be complicated, but that's why we do pilot training, is to make sure that the pilots that we work with will have all the skills necessary to be safe and smooth pilots for you when you're a passenger in any kind of airplane. The cockpit door opens very easily and smoothly. Just reach forward. Here we go. And we're getting into the aircraft. Just a little step up. In we go. Cockpit door is closed. Pull the pilot seat forward so I can handle all the controls clearly. And here's what a pilot sees and what a pilot does. This is the control yoke. By turning it left, we change the ailerons like we showed outside. Turning to the right, we reverse their differential deflection. As we pull back on the yoke, up comes the elevator. The pitch would go up. As we push forward on the yoke, down goes the elevator. The pitch would go down. Down on the floor are rudder pedals, and they move the rudder to help coordinate as we bank left and right. Here's that flap switch that I used to put the flaps up and down. Very handy to the pilot. These controls manage the engine. This is a mixture control that allows gas to flow from the gas tanks into the engine compartment. And here's our throttle. Full forward, puts all the gas into the engine it can take. Prop turns about 2,700 RPM. As we pull back on the throttle, we reduce the fuel flow to the engine. The RPM goes down. So those are the chief engine controls. These round instruments are here to back up our large electronic instruments that we will use as our primary flight control instruments. I will activate them here with our battery master switch. It'll take a few moments before they start to show the indications, because the computer components of our electronic instruments are doing various system checks as they warm up. Primary flight display, you can see the blue of the sky. The ground, of course, is brown. This is our direction bar, which shows how we're proceeding. We're proceeding into the air at that point. This is our compass azimuth to tell us how we're flying. We're flying almost due north now. On the left-hand side is an airspeed tape. On the right-hand side is altimeter. Information up here tells us about the navigation radios we're using. Information over here tells us about the communications radios. This is what's known as a multifunction display, and what will come up eventually isn't just this pretty picture of our airplane, but the map that we're going to use to navigate. This is very similar to the navigational radios in your car if you have a GPS navigator in your car. We're able to use this a little bit more precisely in the air, but it does the same thing. It lets us know where we're going. We don't have any voice to tell us when to turn left and right, however. We have to make that decision on our own. So this tells us how the airplane's flying. This tells us where we need to go. And that's the electronic flight instruments that we'll be teaching our students how to manage and how to maintain safe flight in our 172 Skyhawk trainers. Thanks for sharing the time with us. Hope to see you here on the flight line at California Aeronautical University. So long.